So we're told that f of 2 is equal to 12, f prime of x is equal to 24 over x to the third, and what we want to figure out is what is f of negative 1. All right, so they give us the derivative in terms of x, so maybe we can take the antiderivative of the derivative to find our original function. So let's do that. So we could say that f of x is going to be equal to the antiderivative, or we could say the indefinite integral of f prime of x, which is equal to 24 over x to the third. I could write it over like this, 24 over x to the third. But to help me process it a little bit more, I'm going to write this as 24x to the negative 3, because then it'll become a little how to take that antiderivative dx. And so what is the antiderivative of 24x to the negative 3? Well, we're just going to do the power rule in reverse. So what we're going to do is we're going to increase the exponent. So let me just rewrite it. It's going to be 24x to the, we're going to increase the exponent by 1. So it's going to be x to the negative 3 plus 1. And then we're going to divide by that increased exponent. So negative 3 plus 1. And so that is going to be negative 3 plus 1 is x to the negative 2. And then we divide by negative 2. And if you're in doubt about what we just did, where we're kind of doing the power rule in reverse, now take the power rule, take the derivative of this using the power rule. Negative 2 times 24 over negative 2 is just going to be 24. And then you decrement that exponent, you go to negative 3. So are we done here? Is this f of x? Well, f of x might involve a constant. So let's put a constant out here. Because notice, if you were to take the derivative of this thing here, the derivative of 24x to the negative 2 over negative 2, we already established is 24x to the negative 3. But then if you take the derivative of a constant, well, that just disappears. So you don't see it when you look at the derivative. So we have to make sure that there might be a constant. And I have a feeling, based on the information that they've given us, we're going to make use of that constant. So let me rewrite f of x. So we know that f of x can be expressed as 24 divided by negative 2. It's negative 12 x to the negative 2 plus some constant. So how do we figure out that constant? Well, they have told us what f of 2 is. F of 2 is equal to 12. So let's write this down. So f of 2 is equal to 12, which is equal to, well, we just have to put 2 in everywhere we see an x. That's going to be negative 2 times 2 to the negative 2 power plus c. And so 12 is equal to, what is this? 2 to the negative 2. 2 to the negative 2 is equal to 1 over 2 squared, which is equal to 1/4. So this is negative 12 times 1/4. Negative 12 times 1/4 is negative 3. So it's negative 3 plus c. Now we can add 3 to both sides to solve for c. We get 15 is equal to c. So, or c is equal to 15. That is equal to 15. And so now we can write our f of x as we get f of x is equal to negative 12, and I could even write that as negative 12 over x squared, if we like. Negative 12 over x squared plus 15. And now using that, we can evaluate f of negative 1. F of negative 1, where everywhere we see an x, we put a negative 1 there. So this is going to be negative 1 squared. So f of negative 1 is equal to 12 divided by, or negative 12 divided by negative 1 squared. Well, negative 1 squared is just 1. So it's going to be negative 12 plus 15, which is equal to 3. And we're done. This thing is equal to 3.